Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters, cooling out, having fun, drinking yayan with Yahweh Shai up in the kingdom, yeah.
Who are we? Israel! Then who are we? Israel! Can't hear you!
Israel, Israel.
Who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power.
I said, who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai.
Shalom Yasharallah.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Welcome to another class here with ISBHPK. We are located here in Houston, Texas. The school address is 231 FM 1092 Stafford, Texas. Zip code 77477. Our class times and days is Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Friday from 6 to 8. Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. We go live usually Wednesday and Saturday, but from now on, we will not be going live on Saturday anymore. Virginia will be going live on Saturday. So again, we won't be going live on Saturday anymore. Virginia will be going live on Saturday. So our live class days will only be on Wednesday.
Yep.
Alrighty, so
That's starting this Saturday,
yeah. So
this Shabbat.
you won't see us on Saturday anymore for a while.
Yes. So basically what we decided, it was a while back, every time the reading starts over, in Genesis, every time the Torah portion starts over, we start over the readers. So we're back in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
So Virginia is going to take over and do it like that.
Got it.
We're still going to have class. All right, so just because we're not online don't mean brothers and sisters don't show up. We're still going to have class, we're just not going to be live.
Got it. So yeah, so speaking of Virginia, their class schedule is gonna be, their address is 2610 Grammy Street, and their class times and schedules is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 7 to 9 Eastern time, and then Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 2. And got a school in Rochester. Also, the address is 1600 Lyell Ave, Suite 1A, Rochester, New York, 14606. Class times and days also was Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. Eastern time. So, quick question. So, Zion will be going live every Thursday, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So, if you have not subscribed to the ISBHPK Rochester channel, go ahead and do that. It's there's two ISBHPK Rochester channels. There's one with 96 subscribers, and there's one with 883 subscribers. Zion is going to be going live from the one that has 883 subscribers, but might as well just subscribe to both of them. They're both our channels as well. So Zion will be going live in Rochester on Thursdays from 7 to 9 Eastern time. So you'll have us Wednesday, Zion Thursday, Virginia is going to be Friday and Saturday, and then of course San Antonio is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday as well. They'll be going live. And the address for San Antonio is 4444 Walsen Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, zip code 78218. And they actually go from 10 a.m. to about 4 p.m. on Saturdays. I'm sorry. So yeah, man, like, share, and subscribe to all the channels, man. The Houston channel, Virginia, Rochester, San Antonio, the 5 Minutes of Wisdom, the Hidden Truth Bible Show, the Media Court. Like, share, and subscribe to the kids class that we do here in Houston every Sunday. Starts at 1 p.m. Definitely like, share, and subscribe to that. Build that channel. Also like, share, and subscribe to Mashaba's Blog Talk Radio. Yeah, that's a. I haven't done this in a while. That's a lot of stuff to like, share, and subscribe to. But yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. Please, the final payment for Passover is due November the 30th. The final payment for Passover is due November 30th. That's about a month and a half from now. So get that in if you want a garment for Passover, so that way the sisters can get ready can start working on it as soon as possible. All right. Passover will be in Virginia as well. The link will be in the description. We just finished up these feasts, man. It was great. So now look out for Hanukkah. Hanukkah will be in December the 18th. Again, Hanukkah is December the 18th. Hurry up and get your Israel wear orders in, because that's gonna be on pause while we work on Passover, and that's coming up. So yeah, get your order in. Fringed up, you already know, $35 for a shirt, $75 for the shirt and the headband. Hebrew Academy is Tuesdays here. Virginia and Rochester is every Monday. All right. If you'd like to contact the priest, Kazaki's number is 757-300-4047. Quatzazop's number is 303-557-8979. We ask that you support our business, the business of Sweet Ambiance, Chosen Creations as well, on Etsy. And also, we ask that you please donate. Send in a donation, man. Help out the brothers and sisters, man, that's doing this work. So, yeah, with that, gonna go ahead and go into this class. So this class is gonna be over, I didn't get a good title for it, but I guess you could just title it The Chief Steward's Sacrifice. The Chief Steward's Sacrifice, right? I guess that's a good one. The Chief Steward's Sacrifice. So you can start at Psalms. Somebody give me Psalms 34:8. So what we're going to be going over today is, of course, y'all know we just had the Feast of Tabernacles out here in Houston. And we met up with San Antonio. Man, and we came together and we went camping and we set up the tents and we were all out there barbecuing, and we was, we had a good time being around one another, right? For the 2 days that we were there. It was awesome. We had this big camping ground. There was a nice lake, so brothers and sisters was going canoeing. The kids was going canoeing in the lake. There was a basketball court, so brothers and the kids was just on the basketball court playing basketball. There was a volleyball spot with sand, so there was big volleyball. I think there was more volleyball being played than even basketball. So, it was dope, man. It was really dope. So we was able to spend that day and a half together, Houston and San Antonio. And there's one thing that brothers and sisters always was saying the whole time whenever you talk to them. Can y'all take a guess? Whenever you talk to a brother or a sister, what was the one thing that they always said? Y'all want to take a guess?
Long time no see.
Long time no see. That's a good one, but what else? What else you think brothers and sisters was always saying? Or I could just say it. It's all good. One thing brothers and sisters was always saying was like, man, I wish this could last forever. Or, man, I wish we could do this more often. We got to do this more often, right? That's the one thing that brothers and sisters was always saying there. And it's true. We all wish we could do it forever. Or in this situation in our captivity, do it all the time, right? So let's go here to Psalms 34:8. There's a reason why we felt like that. Read Psalms 34:8 real quick.
Psalm chapter 34, verse 8. O taste and see that the Lord is good.
Read again.
O taste and see that the Lord is good.
One more time.
O taste and see that the Lord is good.
You know why brothers and sisters wish they could do it forever? Wish them days would never end? Or wish we could just do it more often? Read it one more time.
O taste and see that the Lord is good.
Because we got a little taste of what the kingdom is going to be like. There wasn't really any strife that I heard of, any contention that I heard of personally, or that I even saw. So what was it? It was just brothers and sisters having a good time. Listening to music, chilling, kids playing. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't working as far as doing Esau jobs, right? But we was serving each other. So it was good. So we got a little bit of a taste of what the kingdom is gonna be like on an extreme low level, on an extreme low level scale. You see what I'm saying? And let's go here real quick too. Go to 2 Corinthians. No, I'm sorry, go to 1 Corinthians 16 and 18. 1 Corinthians 16 and 18. This is another reason why. This is another bit of taste that we got from the Psalms 34 and 8. Read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
For they have refreshed my spirit.
They have what?
Refreshed my spirit.
There was this refreshing of the spirit that happened when you got to see other brothers and other sisters. It always happens whenever we all come together, right? You just get so happy. Your spirit gets refreshed. You see what I'm saying? You get to see another brother, another sister that you're not used to seeing, that's struggling, that's fighting, just like you're fighting. It's good. Iron sharpeneth iron, but that your spirit gets refreshed. You get motivated. You get motivated to keep going. You get motivated to be better. You know what I'm saying? You get to see brothers that's just like you or sisters that's just like you. There's a real refreshing that happens, man. And you know why too? Because throughout all the hustle and bustle leading up to it, there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot of struggle, man. There's a lot of weariness. We're tired. Excuse me, the day-to-day rigmarole, is that how you say it?
Rigmarole.
So there's a refreshing of the spirit that happened, but there's also a refreshing of the spirit that happened from the conversations that we had, from the talks that was being had, from the oh damn that's what happened, damn that's what happened to y'all out there. Oh yeah, this is what was happening to us. But look, you made it through. We made it through. You see what I'm saying? The counsels that was being able to be had, the children being able to play with other children, and it was just good, man. So back to that Psalms real quick. Back to the Psalms, chapter 34, verse 8.
Psalms chapter 34, verse 8.
Go ahead.
Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good.
So the scripture says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good." And this scripture was on my mind a lot, man, when I was there. Like, damn, Yahweh is good. Like, this is great. You know what I mean? Now let's go to Luke 17 and verse 20. Luke chapter 17, verse 20. And this first point that you could put is, that I put is, heaven's now. Heaven is now, right? Because that was a little bit of a taste of heaven. So read this Luke 17 and 20.
Luke chapter 17 verse 20.
Go ahead.
And when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of God should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation.
Go ahead.
Neither shall they say, lo here, or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of God is within you.
The kingdom of God is where?
It's within you.
The kingdom of God is where?
It's within you.
Y'all gotta see it, man. Y'all know why heaven is gonna be heaven? It's not all the things that we read about. Yeah, yes, it is. It is the many mansions. It is the all the jewels and stuff like that that's gonna be there. But what's the point of all the jewels and stuff that's gonna be there? What's the point of all the mansions and all that if it's just you that's gonna be there? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be whack. What's the point of flying in first class if your bros can't come, right? What's the point of being in the chariot all by yourself, right? So you got to see it. What's the point of being rich when you're the only one rich? It don't make no sense. That's not where the happiness is gonna come. Y'all got to see it, man. You know where true happiness comes from? True happiness comes when you enjoy something with somebody else. That's true happiness. You ain't happy when you sitting at home or you by yourself and you're lonely. You like who likes to go to a vacation by themselves? Like who goes on a vacation by themselves? Like you always want to do something with somebody. Like who goes to a sports game or to a bar just by themselves? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna be at this bar by myself. or at this club by myself, or anything fun. I'm gonna go to the zoo by myself. I don't know, to the beach, to the pool. Like, nobody does things for the sake of doing it just by themselves. They do it with other people because that's where the real happiness comes from. You see what I'm saying? Where you get to share something with somebody. You get to share a laugh with somebody. You get to share an enjoyment. Think about if you laugh. You like, man, I got to tell this person about this joke so that they can laugh too. You want to share it. You want to share it. You see what I'm saying? So the scripture says the kingdom of heaven is within you. Why? Because when we come together, it is like heaven. It is a taste of heaven. It should if everybody's in the right spirit. You see what I'm saying? If everybody's in that right, pure spirit, man, it is like heaven, where you don't got to worry about nothing. There's only one thing that I worried about the whole time. Well, there was a couple of things that I worried about when I was out there. But the main thing that I worried about, that I was like really kind of a little scared of,
That water.
was when we was on the water. That was it. And I was like, oh crap. We went canoeing. I don't mess with all that. I'm a great swimmer. But I ain't messing with all that, you know? Scared as hell. This guy, Ramiro, wasn't scared at all.
He was the gondolori.
Yeah.
He was standing up, rowing people through Venice.
Mm-hmm. That was the only thing. And the other thing that I was a little nervous of was like a kid going into the water. But guess what? You had so many eyes that was out there that, I want y'all to understand something. Like, for brothers and sisters that's online or that's going to watch this later, you got to think about 50 to 100 kids and like 20 to 30 toddlers, and you're able to put them on acres of land. Imagine having your child on acres of land and just letting them roam. And you're like, oh yeah, just go. Just go. You know what I'm saying? Like 2-year-olds, just go. Like, just go play. Go play with all the other kids. Leave me alone. And you could literally just go. And it's like everybody out there is like a parent. You see what I'm saying? I want y'all to understand something. That right there, what you experienced a little bit of, is why whenever somebody did something wrong, you stoned that person. Back then. That right there is why, because it wouldn't just be on the parents. It was on everybody. It was everybody, because why? Everybody's accountable for that person from their time coming up. So when you was out there, everybody was accountable for every child. You see what I'm saying? Something happened, a child was about to do something, it didn't matter if it was yours. You was like, no. You see what I'm saying? You didn't even know the kid's name. But you got to see it, man. That's a little bit of a taste of heaven. The praying, the loudness, the powerfulness of it. You know what I'm saying? That joy, that peace, the safety. You got to see it. It's a little bit of a taste of heaven. That's why the scripture says the kingdom of heaven is within you. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom of heaven is within you. Why? Because when we're all moving in that spirit, we're rehearsing what it's going to be like in the kingdom. So let's go here. Psalms 133, chapter 1 on down. What's up, Rosa?
What was the first point you said?
The first point is heaven now, or we're having heaven now. A little taste of heaven now. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, it's like a taste of heaven, but it's also a taste of what Moses was dealing with in the wilderness. And how all the people, how all Israel, right, was gathered in one place, right, in one mind, all in their little tents. And, obviously we weren't there long enough for the murmuring, right?
Yeah.
But we were there long enough to be able to understand what it would take. Just think about how much it took to feed. How many meals did we have?
Maybe it's like 2 or 3 a day.
Right, we had four. Well, I'm just saying while we were there, we had the lunch when we got there.
The breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That was both days, right?
Yes.
Was it 5? Well, we got there a little bit later.
Right.
Yeah.
4 that we experienced.
4 that we experienced, but 5 that we experienced. But we got there later. They got there at 8 in the morning. So just think about how much food was in that fridge, right? Now let's technically look at it. There was probably enough food to go another day, and then we would have been out of food.
Yeah.
Right? So just think about just think about all the food cooking and prep and all the things that was going on those 2 days.
Yeah.
So imagine being there for 7, the whole feast. You start to get the idea, damn, that's a lot. Takes a lot, right? It takes a lot to be there and to participate. Right? So just keep that in mind when we do these things. Keep in mind what it is taking, right?
God, and that's what this class is about. That's what this class is about. Actually, it does take a lot, right?
Yeah.
It takes a whole lot. Sisters, y'all were all in the kitchen, right? Y'all saw that. Y'all saw that, brothers. It was. We saw what we had to do as well, right? Now, actually, drop that Psalms. Let's go here. Let's go to Luke chapter 10, verse 2. Let's go to Luke chapter 10, verse 2. And we're gonna go into this other point, the second point. I'll give you the title for the second point in a second. But read this Luke chapter 10 and verse 2.
Luke chapter 10, verse 2. Therefore said he unto them,
Go ahead.
the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few.
Read it again.
Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few.
You see that? And this was the point of this class that I wanted to go in at. Is the harvest, which is what you reap from all the work that you're putting in, it's great. It's dope. It's awesome, right? But the laborers are few, right? So what I wanted to touch on was this, like, you know, when you look at, because this is what I was thinking about when I was there. You know, when you look at all that we just dealt with at the camp, yes, it was fun. Yes, it was dope. And guess what? We experienced like what, 4 or 5 days of feast here, right? I want y'all to consider something. I want y'all to consider the work that it took to put all that together. You see what I'm saying? The sacrifice that it took to put all that together and make those days safe, make those days prosperous without any issue, where everybody's happy. You see what I'm saying? It takes a lot. Let me say something. The sisters that did the feast days, right? What time did you start cooking? Feast started like at 8.
2 days before.
2 days before.
Yeah, kind of.
Or you know, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Because we had 4 or 5 days of feasting out here, right, in Houston. Let me rephrase that. Before you even got to the cooking, you had to figure out what you was gonna cook, right? Then you had to go shop for it, right? And after you shop for it, you had to prep for it, right? Our feast days here in Houston will start like at 8, but it really didn't start till 9 because the Israelites are never on time, right? But you started cooking at what time? You said 2 days before? Rosa, when did you start cooking?
That same day around 10 in the morning.
Marcy, what time did you start cooking?
About 9:30.
So the point I'm trying to make is you started cooking 12 hours before your actual time, or almost 12 hours before your actual time for a feast that was going to happen later on. I want y'all to see something. These sisters, a lot of them paid for the feast with their own dough. You see what I'm saying?
They all did.
Oh, they all, yeah. So the feast that we ate, that was out of the sisters' pockets on their days to cook. So what I'm trying to show y'all is the sacrifice that is made for these days to be prosperous and for them to be good and for everybody to enjoy themselves. You see what I'm saying? Anybody see Derek do anything at the camp? Anybody see him? Did anybody see Derek at the camp anywhere? Anywhere? Did you see him? Did you see him?
Okay.
Where did you see him at?
Either on the grill, and I saw him in the water.
Yeah, for a little bit. I didn't even get to see him on the water. But Derek was on the grill the whole damn time. As soon as we got there, it was like, oh crap, bro, we couldn't even he literally set his tent up. I want y'all to see something. We got there like at, what time did you get there?
10.
Derek got there like at 10, literally set his tent up and literally went on the grill and was on the grill the whole damn time, brothers and sisters. For all those that ate. That's just what I know here in Houston. You had the brothers in San Antonio. You had Marwola. You had Yohanada. You know what I'm saying? Out there on the grill in San Antonio. A lot. Anybody see Yohanada? I think Yohanada was like the last brother to take his tent down. But guess what? He was on the grill the whole time. Anybody see Quatazat? He was on the grill the whole time too. But what I'm trying to show y'all is like the sacrifice that some brothers and some sisters took on so that others could enjoy themselves. You see what I'm saying? So that's why this class is titled The Chief Steward Sacrifice. So you know how like we're all like, man, we want to do this every day. We would love to do it every day. We would love to do it more often, even if we couldn't do it every day. We would love to do it more often. Then understand, you got to see like what comes with having to be able to do it every day. You see what I'm saying? That means that there's no way in hell that Derek could, or Derek or Quatazap or Yohanada or Marwola could be the only ones on the barbecue every damn day. Y'all see what I'm saying? There's no way in hell that it can be that. Or we had the brothers that was patrolling at night. That was good because we all did it for an hour every night, right? I mean, yeah, it was only one night, but we all patrolled for an hour. 2 brothers went and patrolled the tents, patrolled the whole camping area, make sure ain't no crazy people coming in or ain't no animals coming in. But even that was a little sacrifice. But I want y'all to think about the food preparation that the sisters had to do. You see what I'm saying? Think about having to do that level of food preparation every day. The same sisters doing the food preparation every day. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, it is dope to be able to say, okay, yes, I would love to do this every day or do it more often. But the point I'm trying to show y'all is the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. You see what I'm saying? There's a few chief stewards. There's a few chief stewards. And then all the things that went on in the background to secure the location, to went and look at the location, and y'all know Shamshuan went out there and laid down a whole bunch of ant things so that we wouldn't get bit up by ants while we were out there.
You did that a week before.
A week before. So there's a lot of things that went into it. So when you see us having these classes, and we're telling brothers and sisters, step up, sacrifice, do more. We're doing it. We're saying those things all the time. Why? Because that is how you're able to enjoy your kingdom. We all want to do it more often. We all want to do more, but it can't always be. It can't just be the same people that sacrifice, and that's got to do everything. It has to be more people putting their hands to the plow. And then guess what? When more people put their hands to the plow, guess what happens? It becomes easier. And then yes, you will be able to do it more often. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because there's more people now to be able to share that load. So Read that again. That Luke where you was at.
God. Luke chapter 10, verse 2.
Go ahead.
Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few.
Go ahead.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he would send forth laborers into his harvest.
Come on, man, and that's what we want. More laborers. Why? Because it opens up the door to be able to do more things. You see what I'm saying? And that's just the fun aspect that I'm talking about. The sitting down, eating and drinking, right? Because remember, you have those that just come. Remember when Yahweh Shai went out and he was teaching the whole multitude, 5,000? And you had those that just came for what? The fish. You had those that just came for the fish. So after they ate the fish, what did they do? They all left. And then Yahweh Shai rolled with the disciples. The disciples were the only ones that rolled with the disciples. But the whole multitude, they came for the fish and left. But guess what, y'all? Guess what? They could have went too. They could have went with Yahweh Shai too. You see what I'm saying? So one thing that I'm saying to brothers and sisters is, don't just be there for the fish. You see what I'm saying? Or in this instance, don't just be there for the barbecue. Don't just be there for the fun, for the volleyball, for the tent and the camping, for the basketball, for the canoeing. Don't just be there for that. Because then you will be like the person that just came for the fish with Yahweh Shai, but then after you ate, you just left. You just went home when you could have kept going with him and kept doing the work. You see what I'm saying? So, or start doing the work. So what I'm saying to brothers and sisters is, again, don't just come for the fish. Don't just come for the barbecue and the fun times. The scripture said, don't it say we're supposed to gather together for the worse? Not for the better, but for the worse? That's what it says, right? It says we're supposed to gather together for the worse. So, yes, it's all fun. It's all fine and dandy when everybody's enjoying and when we're all eating and playing, right? But he's going to do a good part two. Well, not a part two, but a different aspect to this, right? It's all fun and it's all nice when we're gathering together for a good occasion. But please understand that you really want to be there for a person to help them through whatever it is that they're going through, to help them through the fight. Now, I want y'all to see this. Go to Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Go to Romans chapter 12 and verse 1.
God.
Let me know when you got it.
You know, you got to remember one thing. If you're not looking at the spiritual side of the carnal things that we do, you're just going to miss the actual true purpose. Yeah, I was sitting there barbecuing the whole time, right? I remember waking up out of my tent. I looked at the time and I was like, oh snap, they got to eat. I ran to the kitchen, I grabbed the muffin, grabbed some coffee, right? And I'm eating muffins and drinking coffee while I'm lighting the coals for the fire. I'm like, we got to get these fires going. Right? And I could have been, let me show you, I could have been caught up on the grill the whole time. But see, even when I was on the grill, what was I doing with the younger brothers that was there? That was a damn 12-hour counsel session.
Yeah.
Them bros was getting hearty counsel. Right? I didn't just make it about cooking meat. That's easy. You can learn that. You can learn that on your free time. But we were going into things that brothers is going to need. The same things that brothers and sisters deal with: household, rib, kids. Right? It's like Israel's only problem is a rib. It's like Israelites' only problems are relationships, man. It's like everything stems from these relationships, and it's fine, right? Because that's what we're trying to build is these
Families.
These families. You can't have a nation without a family.
Yeah.
So, in trying to endeavor to have these families and these kids, what happens with brother? What happens with men? What happens with women? Well, there's this haste And then in haste, you do things in error. So what was I doing? Just showing brothers my experiences and the things that I did in error, and showing them they don't have to make those same errors. Whatever it was. And you know, they were picking my brain just about a lot of stuff, man. And I was there. I'm like, look, I'm gonna show you how to barbecue this meat, and I'm gonna give you the spiritual side to the things that you need to know.
Yep.
You know, so I didn't make it just about, I got to be the black chef Ramsay.
Okay.
You see that? It was, you're going to get this carnal meat, but then you're going to get this spiritual meat also. You sisters and brothers got to see that with everything that we do, there's a spiritual side. So if it boiled down to watching somebody else's kid, and you see something that looked a little off, that you might have been able to give some advice on, you got to do it. You just got to do it tactfully.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got to do it in a way of not causing offense and not letting that person keep going about doing something wrong or an error or whatever it may be. But those are the things that we all should have been looking at. You know what I mean? We all should be looking at the spiritual side and saying, man, how can I help on this aspect? You know what I mean? How can I add to this person?
Yeah.
You see that? How can I be added to? Who can add to me? You see what I'm saying? Let me get around the elder sisters or that have been around. Let me see what they can add to my understanding. Right? It ain't just about serving food and getting the camp fed, but there's a spiritual side behind that. The order, the structure, all those different things that if you don't pay attention, you'll lack. You know what I mean? So it was about seeing what you lacked spiritually and trying to covet the best gifts, like the scriptures say.
God, you know also too, like if you would have like just sit back, you know how like at the mall, like we'll stand away from the cart and kind of like just look and see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, if you kind of like just step back and just looked at everything that was going on at the camp, you can see a lot of different spiritual things that was happening. You could see brothers and sisters that was out the spirit. You could see kids that was out the spirit. You could see those that was having fun. You could see those that was like, let me put it like this. You could see those that was taking advantage of like what Quatzazap was saying, like being around people where it was like, you know, I could rap with you. Get a different perspective. You see what I'm saying? I'm dealing with this issue. I'm getting counsel from Quatzazap. I'm getting counsel from Shathak. But you know what? Let me see how a war thinks. Let me see what a war thinks. Let me see what Shab Shawan thinks. Let me see what Dawayah thinks. Let me open myself up and let them know what's going on, what I'm dealing with. Because maybe they may come, they're going to say the same thing. It's all the same spirit. But it may come out in a different way where you might be like, oh, damn, that was what I needed. So always take advantage of it, me personally. But then you're able to see, like think about, like in that situation right there, like just being at the camp. And everybody's relaxing and kind of mingling. Like, you wasn't really supposed to see just one brother just kind of like just by themselves. Or one sister just like by themselves. That's kind of weird.
That loner spirit, you were supposed to shed that.
Yeah, like, or just one brother on the basketball court, or one brother playing volleyball by himself. One brother or one sister on a canoe.
Or even just trying to be around the same people you've been around the whole time.
Yeah.
You're familiar with everybody here. You're supposed to go endeavor with the unfamiliar sisters and build relationships with them.
Yeah. You know one thing, before you go there.
And brothers.
Go to John 15 and 13. Go to John 15 and 13 real quick. Before you go to that Romans, go to John 15 and 13.
Book of John, chapter 15 and verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
That a man do what?
Lay down his life for his friends.
You see that? So what does that mean? Like, however, whatever it is that you felt like you should have been doing there, if it wasn't like you doing something for somebody or communicating with somebody or being around somebody, that was out the spirit. If you was a kid, a rib, or a brother, you see what I'm saying? It was out the spirit. You should have been laying down your own thoughts and saying, man, let me get around and see how they're doing. Because if it's about unity, then you do want to be unified with everybody. You see what I'm saying? You should know, okay, where is this person at? What do they do? Get to know everybody. Because the scriptures say we rehearse in the righteous acts. And at some point, we are going to be in the wilderness, and that is going to be the reality. That right there, y'all realize that, right? That right there is going to become a reality. Ain't going to be no more house with ACs. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a tent. And these same people that you had so much fun with at the camp,
It might be your tent mate.
maybe your tent mate, or may now, I'll give y'all a good example. If you having issues now in a camp, in a body, with brothers and sisters, if you having issues, if you got contention, if you got maliciousness, if you got strife, if you don't know how to talk to people irritate you, agitate you. If you don't know how to forgive, if you don't know hospitality, if you don't know certain things, and this is a way more comfortable position than being out laying. If you were like me, I didn't bring my air mattress, so you're gonna be laying on that hard ground, right? Getting that cold air at night, mosquitoes. This is a way more comfortable environment than being out there. How are you gonna be when that really hits? At the end of the day, guess what? We still had restrooms to go to. You see what I'm saying? Restrooms to take a shower. What's going to happen in the camp? What's going to happen in the wilderness?
You know what's funny?
What's that?
I was trying to sleep. And the patrol brothers were super loud.
Oh, I know.
Brothers was like, you like, yeah, and Esau's gonna get destroyed.
You just wake up.
But one of the funniest parts was the brothers was talking about that. I don't know what two brothers was rolling. They're like, yeah, I remember in the wilderness, you had to take the paddle with you and bury that outside the camp. I just thought, and I'm sitting there trying to sleep like, these guys is really talking about poop right now.
God.
3 in the morning.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's why when I patrol, I was quiet. I was quiet going through them things. I didn't say nothing because I already knew. Because by my time of patrol was 3:30. I've been up since 12 because of the patrols.
God.
I couldn't sleep, man. Every like 10 minutes, you hear them come around.
Just talking crazy.
And let me say this, we was not flashing the lights in y'all tents.
No.
The light was just that bright.
Yeah.
Because I already know. I already know everybody was like, why they flashing in my tent?
That police light, hella bright.
It was just that bright, y'all. It was just that bright, you know? But, yeah, man. The scriptures say, greater love hath no man than he laid down his life, right? You got to see, one of the most important things is, man, it's not about you. It's not about you. You see what I'm saying? It's not. Like, this is what's going to make heaven heaven. So we do got to lay down our lives. Let's go to Romans 12 and 1. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 12, verse 1.
Read it out.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
A living what?
Sacrifice.
See, be in the mindset to present your bodies as a living sacrifice. If you want to be a chief steward, be ready to present yourself as a living sacrifice. You know, I want y'all to think about, like, you know, just like the preparations to make it happen. Like, a war was over the preparations in his rib. Asherai was over the preparations out here as well. You got to see, like, it takes a lot. And I want to ask y'all, like, the sisters that did y'all feast, right? When you did your feast, what was the one worry that you had for those that did their feast?
Not running out of food.
Not running out of food.
Making sure it tastes good.
Making sure it tastes good.
Yeah.
making sure it tastes good, but not running out of food, making sure it tastes good, but making sure what? Everybody was happy and enjoyed themselves, right? So imagine at that magnitude, how it is. Like, damn, like just hopefully everybody likes this. Hopefully everybody's happy. Hopefully everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? But why? Because brothers and sisters just think about everybody else. You see what I'm saying? Imagine if we were all just thinking about imagine if we weren't rolling in the spirit of me, but everybody's thinking about everybody. That's what it has to be. That's what we pushing for. Y'all see that? So read on.
Holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
Go to 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's look at 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
I just wanted this part of the scripture. Why? Because you see how it says ever learning but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth? Let me ask y'all, what is the knowledge of the truth? What is the truth? What is it? Like, what is that knowledge of the truth? What is the truth? You know what the truth is? The truth is all of us. The truth is your brother and your sister. The truth is sacrificing for your brother and your sister. Keep the unity. Greater love hath no man than he lay down his life for his brother. That's the truth. You see what I'm saying? I saw this video this morning, man, of Umar Johnson. And he was talking about, like, it was like a little 2-minute video, and I guess he was mad because people keep going in this chat talking about Israelites. And he was like, if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. Don't come in my chat with that. You know, and then he was like, show me the bones of a Hebrew. Like, you can't show me the bones. And I always used to hear brothers talk about that. That's like a thing that Kemet talks about. It's like, showing me the bones of Israelites. And I sat there and I listened to him, and you know what I thought? Like, this dude knows a lot. He knows a lot, but so what? So what? What does he know that he can put to use? How many of y'all actually read the Bible a lot and actually study the Bible? I want y'all to think about that. How many of y'all know the Bible cover to cover and know the ins and outs of the Bible? Not a lot. A lot of brothers and sisters, and the majority of brothers and sisters that was there did not know the ins and outs of the Bible. But even with us not knowing the ins and outs of the Bible, guess what? We were still able to use the little bit that we know and put it to work. Why? Because if we at least knew a little bit about the truth to at least make something work. You see what I'm saying? So when it says ever learning but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth, the knowledge of the truth is sacrifice. Sacrifice for your brother and sister. Now, let's go to Leviticus 6 and 12. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 6, verse 12. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it. It shall not be put out.
So check this out. The altar that we sacrificed on back in the day, that the Levites, the priests, sacrificed on, that fire was never to be put out. You know why that's important? It's important because your fire in this can never be put out. This is the mentality that we have to adopt. A fire that never goes out. So what does that mean? The sacrifice is always going. So when you sacrificing, what are you doing? When you sacrificing, you doing something for the future. You see what I'm saying? So everything that we do now, man, we do it for the future. Read on.
And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning.
Go ahead.
And lay the burnt offering in order upon it. And he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offering. The fire shall ever be burning up upon the altar. It shall never go out.
You see that? The fire shall never go out. So your fire can never go out. So imagine everybody that came, if everybody was in that mindset of, my fire can never go out. You know why everything was successful? Because the brothers and sisters that are chief stewards in Houston and San Antonio, the ones that are striving to be chief stewards, it was successful because their fires didn't go out. You see what I'm saying? They were constantly thinking. Let me tell y'all something. We were constantly thinking about everybody that was there. Constantly looking at, I don't know about y'all, but I'm moving around, but I'm constantly looking at people on the lake.
Listen, when we was about to set up prayers, 3 children went missing. Did y'all know that? God. Right before we set up prayers, I disappeared out real quick because, no, 2 kids. A little girl went missing. I forget her name. They couldn't find her, and then y'all know that one of the brothers, his son, is autistic.
Yeah.
So his son will just pick up and leave. He'll just dip off. And you got that whole big body of water. That's the first place we went. And where was he at? Sitting right there by them swings. By himself. You see what I'm saying? Like, there was always a constant having to watch for certain people, and a constant check. Where's this kid? Where's this kid? You know, but was everybody thinking like that? Some of us forgot about our own kids.
Yeah.
Some of us forgot about our own kids because we were too caught up. Like I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't worried about my kids in that respect of having to be up under them because I was busy. So I had to rely on y'all to be the eyes and ears for my kids, right? But then there was a time, I remember, it was the next day, the kids want to go on the water. I look out and it's just kids on the water, no grown-ups. The whole stipulation was they couldn't go without a grown-up. So I had to go out there and shut them down off the water. But there was nobody out there to say, hey, nobody was in the presence of mind in that moment to say, hey, let me make sure that I'm looking at the water to make sure that these kids ain't creeping off and doing what kids do. It says foolishness is bound in the heart of a child.
Yeah.
So what they gonna do? Well, they're gonna disregard all rules, disobey, act like they didn't hear it, right? It was Noah. He said, Dad, can I go canoeing? I said, well, who's over there? He's like, I don't know. I said, okay, well, go over there and come back and tell me if there's a grown-up over there. 5 minutes goes by. I'm like, hold up. It don't take that long to go over there and come back. But when I look, this dude got on a life vest. There's 6 other people with life vests. And I look, I said, ain't none of them kids, grown-ups. I was like, y'all all get off that water. Y'all all take off the life vests, shut it down. Because there was not going to be no supervision. Something would have happened to them kids. That little thing capsize or whatever the case may be. Something jump about that water. Right? One of them river rats jump about that water and bite somebody. Who would have known?
There were river rats.
Yeah, there were definitely rats in that.
Water
It
rats.
was sea otters. Right? But who would have known is the point.
Yeah.
And, what are we saying? That everybody got to be in that sacrificial mind also of not so worried about you, but worried about everybody. Yeah. Everybody, every grown-up, every person with a sound mind should have at least went to that water 2-3 times and looked to see if anybody needed help. Or I constantly kept dipping around the corner because we're the building right here, the water's right here, so you can't see all of it. But I'm constantly dipping over to see like everybody good, and I'm dipping back to the meat. Dip over, walk around over here just to see what was going on because that was my biggest fear. That water, because kids get retarded when they get next to water. They hate bathing, but they want to be in dirty river water. Right? They hate bathing, but they'll go run around in some water all day. And then not understand the dangers if you don't know how to swim, whatever the case may be. There was a time when they was running the canoes into each other. Remember? I'm like, yo, what are they doing over there? He had to run over and tell them, like, hey, y'all gotta chill, because we're constantly looking while we're multitasking here and doing this and handling this. You still gotta look out. That's what it means by taking the oversight.
Yep.
That's what a shepherd does. A shepherd gotta feed, wash, clothe, and look out for the wolf, all at the same time. All at the same time. He has to be looking out for danger as well as nurturing and providing. All at the same time, simultaneously, multitask. And that's a sacrifice. Because it's easy to say, oh, I didn't see that. I was too busy doing this. I was too busy feeding the people. What's wrong with that? Well, it couldn't be just about, that's the whole point of the sacrifice. It can't just be about one thing and one thing only. Right? Your body, if you present your body as a living sacrifice, think about it. Your body has more than one arm, right? Who in here can walk and chew gum? Everybody, right? Right. The point is, your body gives you the ability to do more than one thing. You can think, see, hear, see. You can do all these different things simultaneously.
Yeah.
You see that? Go ahead.
Go to Proverbs 22:3.
And remember, this ain't no knock on nobody. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or for having fun or anything like that. This was just a reminder that, listen, we had a good time, but, you know, if we're not paying attention to the things that matter, a good time will turn into a tragedy.
Yeah.
A good time is a salakia. And you can't salak your way out of something bad happening. You can't salak your way out of, well, oh, we ran out of food. What if we would have ran out of food? Y'all gonna look at me like, what the hell is your problem? Right? You made us pay $40. You did this. You made us do. Y'all didn't count. Y'all didn't calculate how many people was gonna be there. Y'all didn't do, like, you would look at the leadership and say, wait a minute, this wasn't accounted for. So we had to make sure that we had every possible base covered that we could. Right? Did we run out of toilet paper?
No.
Nah. Did anybody have extra toilet paper with them? Just curious. Just in case.
Got one.
Yeah. I bought a Costco thing. Just in case. I left it in my truck, just in case. Right? But, you know, it's just those things, just thinking like, man, what if this happens? What if that happens? You know, that mind got to be there. And the more everybody is thinking in that, it's called a hive mind. That hive-minded thinking, every base is covered. And then the sacrifice, the fire is not so hard to keep going. Yeah. Think about a fire. If everybody, what's the main component of a fire?
Wood.
The wood, right? But if I got to carry 10 logs and walk them to the fire, and I got to do that 50 times, I'm going to burn out, right? But if you carry a log, you carry a log, you carry a log, if 10 people go and get 2 logs each, we'll get more wood and we'll last longer. You see that? But if one person or 2 people got to go carry the majority of the logs, what happens when those people burn out? Well, the people that ain't really doing nothing is going to be looking to get heat. They're going to question, why is that fire out? Well, what log are you bringing to the fire? You see that? So there got to be this even distribution of the mental. There's a mental duty to each other that we all got to start taking a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
There's a mental duty. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna be like Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm gonna repeat everything 3 times. There's a mental duty that we gotta have towards each other. There is. There's a meditation. There's a daily meditation that, you know what y'all all should be doing? You should be daily meditating on everybody in the camp, one by one, daily. Yeah, what's up with this person? Oh man, I remember this person said this. Yeah, I remember this. Oh, the brother said this. Then you go down the line as good as you can, but you should be getting practice at it. I got to do it every day. I got to wake up and the first thing I got to think about is y'all. And not just y'all here sitting, right? I got to think about Virginia, San Antonio, here. Then I got to think about all the businesses that we have and what's going on. If it's slacking, what can we change? How can we add this? How can we improve this?
Yeah.
right? Then I got to think about the schools and and all these different things. I still got a family. He still got a family. He still got kids. He still got Reb kids' house. Same thing. But a lot of the times, it's like, nah. Like, you know how many times Noah came to me like, Dad, can we go canoeing? And I'm like, bro, you see what's going on? You see what I got going on? So what did he end up doing? He ended up having to be at the grill with me to hang out. Sacrifice. I wanted to sit in this chair with my rib and swing. Right? They had the swings. You sitting there, you know. I looked over, I seen brothers like handing this swing. I'm like, golly. Trying to get some of that action. And I'm not knocking nobody for doing it. Trust me, I'm not. Because I wanted some of that action. All I got was a little picture at the end when we all leaving. Right? With my rib. I didn't even talk to my rib the whole time. Because she was busy doing what? Kitchen. Serving. Making sure this is clean. Making sure this kid. Making sure this. Boom, 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 boom. Right? I'm busy. What? Boom, 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 boom. So now she ain't pissed off at me because I didn't swing with her or get Ramiro to vote us through the seat. Right? She ain't mad at me, but I'm not mad at her either. I'm not mad at her sacrifice. I'm like, cool. Now you get it, sis. Now you understand the burden that you signed up for. Yeah. But think about it. If everybody took on the burden, then everybody could swing in chairs, B. Everybody could sit by the water and put their arm around their rib and swing and look out on and skip rocks and do all that stuff.
Yep.
Everybody would have an equal opportunity to do these things. You see what I'm saying? So just reminding y'all, man, that remember, we all want to enjoy these moments. We all want to be able to enjoy the things that we're doing. But if the burden is only on if the burden is only on the head, then what's going on with the body? And I'm not saying that that's the case, but what I am reminding y'all is that if you're not aware of how you're moving and what you're doing, it will become the case where you're constantly just partying up and having fun, and somebody else is being beat down with having to sacrifice to get that fun started and going and maintained. It's not fun for them, but it's fun for you, and that's not an equality. Y'all see that? Huh?
You know, everything you were saying was pretty much while I was putting this class together.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, y'all got to see it like, if it's done by an equality, let's go here real quick. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 8 and verse 13. 2 Corinthians 8 and 13. Read that.
2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
For I mean not that other men be Eve, and Eve burdened.
You see that? So the scripture says,
This is like our
it's
camp.
not about you being...
This is like our camp motto.
Yeah.
This is like our, because this is the thing. Let me just say this real quick. I gotta interject on this real quick, because why is this like the camp motto? Why do we? I mean, how many times you heard this scripture, Derek? From us. I think I hit this the last class we went through. But why do we go to this scripture so often and so many times? And why do we try to beat this concept into y'all's mind? Well, because this is the thing. The one thing I do understand is that the things that I'm equipped to give and the sacrifice that I'm liable for, it's a greater sacrifice than right now at this point than what y'all are liable for. Now, does that mean that you can't sacrifice? No, it doesn't mean. Does it mean that you can't give? No, it doesn't mean. But what it means is that I understand that, for instance, I understand that it's my rent or the school rent. If it boiled down to it, and we have to pay something, my rent would have to it would have to wait, be late, go a month, and then we have to pay the school. That's where I'm at with it. Now, everybody ain't there yet. Everybody ain't gonna forfeit their vehicle for the school. If it's my vehicle or the school, guess what? My rib got a car. We'll be sharing. That's just where I'm at with it. That's the level that I'm ready to take it to, and I've been there, right? Because brothers have been there. Yeah. So it's not a foreign thing to us, but all we're saying is that at some point, not that you have to come into the mind of, oh, I got to give my vehicle up, but you got to come into the mind of, if we lower the scales a little bit, well, how do I get to a point where now my temporal carnal things are not such an attachment, and I'm ready to give those up for the truth. I'm ready to make sure that there's an equality on all ends. You see that?
Yeah.
That's the mind. It's just a mind state that we got to come to. So, read it one more time.
2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 13.
Right.
For I mean not that other men be eased,
Right.
and ye burdened.
Right, because where does the burden start? Here. You could be given the bare minimum and think that you're burdened. Right?
Yeah.
You could be given the bare minimum and think that, oh my God, what a burden. Or you could be given the excess and not even think twice about it. But how do we get to this where there's this equality, where everybody is giving at their pace, at their rate, where it's not going to affect the mentality towards the truth? It's not going to affect their mentality towards the next man. Well, I got to give this and you ain't got to give nothing. Or I got to sacrifice and put everything on the line while you get to escape with all your goods. No, they got to get to a mind of, wait a minute, so you ready to do that? Well, let's make sure it don't get to that point. Yeah. Let me do my part so it don't get to that. It don't got to go to that extreme sacrifice. But that's why it has to go to that extreme sacrifice, because the ones that should be trying to get to that equality, they're laying back, just watching things happen. Just watching things happen. And then what happens is when things hit the fan, they'll sit back and watch, not realizing that their lack of putting in when they can, it affects them. Y'all see that? Okay, what if I went down, or Derek went down with some weird bite? I was getting bit up, man. It was weird. Came back with all types of weird bites. What if we got bit by something and then like we both down and we just like out of there? Who was ready to step up to cook the meat, or was it about canoeing and kicking it? Me time. Who was ready to step in there and now make yourself equal with that sacrifice that was already put out there? See, that's the question that you should ask within yourself. If something happened to the sisters that were kind of, running all the food and doing all that different stuff, who was ready to step in without any type of, hey sis, we need you. Hey brother, we need you. Whose mind is, you know what? I'm ready to go without even being asked.
Who's offering themselves?
Right. A sacrifice is something that's, you give what you don't have. Right? It's something when you give up something that you don't necessarily have. But who's in that mind that, damn, that sister look like she been running around. She needs a break. Let me go relieve her. Damn, them brothers look like they back there sweating, dying behind the pits. Man, I know how to cook something. Let me go relieve them for 10, 15 minutes. Let me bring them a cold water. Let me bring them a cold beer. Cold beer, please. Right? Let me bring them. Let me bring them a plate. Right? Again, just listen to what I'm saying. I'm not trying to shame nobody. I'm not trying to say that anybody didn't do these things. But what I'm saying is the ones that didn't, why didn't you? That's all I'm saying. We ate, right? My rib brought me have my food, and that was my rib though. She better. That's my rib. She knows. But why did it have to only be my rib? Right? Or this brother or that sister, like everyone should be in that mind. They should, water by the jugs should have been brought to me, Derek, and the brothers out there. You sit behind that pit for 12 hours, I'm still smelling like smoke. I took a shower today and I'm like, dang, I still smell the charcoal on my skin. Yeah. Right? But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, everybody should have been like, man, let me go get them a bottle of water. Let me bring the brothers a bottle of water. Let me see if they need anything. A select few did that. I didn't even see a lot of y'all, to be honest, because We were on one side, y'all were doing y'all's thing. I'm gonna say it one more time. Not saying this to shame anybody. Not saying this to make anybody feel a certain type of way. I'm saying it so that y'all could get in the mind of this equality. The brothers is back there doing this and doing that. Let me see if they need something. Let me bring what I can to the table to at least try to make some type of effort to show that, hey, I might not be the barbecue, I might not be able to grill and cook and do all that stuff, but I'll be a support. I'll be a help.
Yeah.
Right? What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing at all. So it's that mind. That this is how you apply this scripture. And this is what I got to start doing more of. Giving you these examples of how you apply the Bible. Because it ain't that y'all don't know. It ain't that we don't know. It's y'all don't know. We don't know how to apply.
A lot of times we just don't recognize the situation.
Or the situation.
You just don't recognize when it is time to apply, you know?
Yeah. So I'm going to have to start giving more situationals. Oh, this is how you apply this scripture. Well, you didn't know how to grill. You didn't know how to cook. You didn't know how to do whatever. Well, make yourself useful in another area. Or, hey, I don't know how to grill. Because let's be real. You know why Yohanada and Yeshaya were with me and Derek? Because we were, Mara Waller, my bad. They were with us because we were training them. We were training them how to cook, how to grill the meat. They were asking questions. We're like, no, do it like this. Make sure this. Da-da-da-da. We were training them so that it don't just have to be on me and Derek every single time we have a feast. Y'all see that? They were willing to take on that burden. They may not know how to do it, but guess what they did do? They were there and they supported everything that we needed. Hey, I go to the fridge, grab all the meat, grab this type of meat. Come, went, grab the meat. Hey, can you grab some waters? Come. Everything we asked, they did it in support while still learning. Not bitching and moaning like, oh, well, I got to be here. Like, I want to go have fun too. Nah, they were like, man, listen, what y'all need?
Yeah.
They were trying to make themselves equal with us. They didn't have it yet, but that's where we came in to supply that thing that they needed. For what? Well, read on.
Verse 14.
Right?
But by an
Equality.
equality,
Right?
that now at this time your abundance may be a supply for their want.
So our abundance, and I'm just using me and Derek as an example, our abundance of this cooking and being able to withstand the flames and man, we touching hot wood and we got that. Derek got Benjamin hands. Damn it. He touching hot coals with his bare hands. You know what I'm saying? He's in there. Hot grills, man. Look, I'm touching wood. I don't got no marks. It's weird. I burned my finger with a coal and it healed already. But we were able to withstand and still be able to show the brothers, this is how you do this. This is how you get this going. This is how you start the fire. Man, why you start the fire like that? Oh, because look, if you do it like that, more efficient. These are the best tools to use. That's a good grill. That's a bad grill. That's this. That's that. Don't put foil on that. Don't do this. Wrap it in. Like all these things, supplying them with our abundance of knowledge of just grilling. Right? Go ahead.
That their abundance also may be a supply for your want.
Right, that after a while, what's going to happen? Well, if they take hold of the teaching, what we're bringing forth to them, they'll become abundant. And then they'll be able to supply that back. So now, hey, Passover, we got to cook the meat. Oh, okay, well, send the two brothers to Houston. And guess what? Now we got 4 brothers that can knock out meat. Boom, with no problem. He can cook. We got 5 brothers. I know you know how to cook. 6 brothers. Like, we got brothers that can now just knock it out. Right? And now there's an equality. But now apply that meat cooking scenario to everything. Children watching, serving, cleaning, this, that. It don't matter. Observing.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead. I talk too much.
The one sister, a warrior diet.
A warrior diet.
A warrior diet. Y'all see how she is with the kids.
The sister that starts singing, when the kids start getting reckless, what does she do? She start breaking out into Hebrew songs, man. She just automatically go into singing because she knows how to tame them damn kids down when they start getting hungry. That's what she does. Go ahead.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
She's always been like that, man. Since I've been in the camp.
Yep.
And seeing her is just it's crazy the way she's able to, you know, that spirit that she just has with kids.
Man,
it's phenomenal. But it's not even just her though. It's a lot of them. But you know, she definitely stands out with the kids. And you know, like what you were saying with the pit, you know, just using that as an example, you can see that sister with the kids. And I'm gonna show y'all, you know, just for the sisters, that's where the mentality should be. Like, that is a very good gift right there. Because guess what? A lot of them kids was you know, she had a big part. A lot of the ones that are older, she had a big part to play with a lot of those kids.
Yeah, in their growth. Yep.
In their growth. During the Passover, you know, the kids always do the stepping.
Yep.
Little dancing routines. That's her. You see what I'm saying? She has a big part to play in that, and guess what? The Most High is gonna reward her for that. But I'm showing y'all different. That's a talent that y'all can acquire. You see what I'm saying? It's a talent that y'all can acquire, man.
Yeah, because really, when you look at her, it's patience.
Yeah.
You gotta have patience to deal with all them little kids and deal with. She got her own kids.
Yep.
But you gotta have patience to sit back and deal with them kids and not let children rev you up to the point where you just want to knock them down through a wall or yell at them or scream at them. Like, but then when you watch some certain sisters with their own children, you automatically just yell at the kids, and it's like, what did he do? Nothing. I was just telling him to come here. Like that? Why you talk to him like that? You know, taking those, sitting back and looking at how the sister deals with the children, not just her own children, but all them children down there in San Antonio, stepping back and looking and seeing like, damn, that's something I can covet. That's a gift that I can steal. You know what I'm saying? And there was many examples. And listen, let me say this. It's not just what they got, because they should have been doing the same thing to y'all.
Yeah.
There's certain talents and gifts that y'all got that they ain't got. A lot of them sisters down there is young as hell and don't know nothing anyway. You see what I'm saying? So they're supposed to be looking at the experience. They're supposed to be looking at the unity, all the things that you guys supply. They're supposed to be mooching off of that and getting better. So it ain't just a one-sided thing. Don't think that we're like sitting here saying like, oh, y'all ain't nothing and San Antonio sisters is glorious. No. What we're saying is that everybody should be in this mind.
You know why? If everybody's in that mind, then you're able to do that more.
Yep.
You're able to have those type of gatherings more. You're able to enjoy more. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a one-day event. It doesn't have to be a once a year event. It can be an all the time event. If everybody, you know, is in that mindset of, okay, let me do what it is that I know I should be doing, you know? Let me be there, let me be a help. And let's go to Philippians 2 and 3. This is the mind right here. Philippians chapter 2. Let's start at verse 1 actually.
Philippians chapter 2 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
If there be therefore any consolation in Christ, if any comfort of love.
What's a consolation?
I was looking up.
They call it a consolation what?
Prize.
Right. A prize. If there's any prize, if there's any reward. Go ahead.
If there be any consolation in Christ, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit.
And the definition I got for consolation also is comfort, alleviation of misery, distress of mind, refreshment of mind or spirits, right?
Right, because the consolation prize is usually you don't get like the first or second or third,
Right.
but you'll get that consolation prize to kind of appease or comfort you because you didn't win.
Participation trophy.
Yeah, you get the what's up?
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, you get the participation trophy. Everybody's a winner,
God.
right? Go ahead.
So read from any fellowship of the Spirit.
If any fellowship of the Spirit,
Uh-huh.
if any bowels in mercy,
Go ahead.
fulfill ye my joy.
All right, so it says fulfill the joy, right? Go ahead.
That ye may be like-minded.
Because that's what it's about, being like-minded. So, you know, what we're trying to show during this class is just for everybody to be in that mentality of a chief steward. You see what I'm saying? Not just a steward, but a chief steward. Because a lot of y'all are stewards now, good stewards. But when you have the mentality of a chief steward, hold that. Go to Proverbs 22:3.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
A prudent man foreseeth the evil.
You see that? When you're a chief steward, then you're looking out. You're foreseeing the evil. You see what I'm saying? You're looking out. You're looking out for what may happen, what may not happen, and that's what a lot of us got to work on, is just foreseeing that evil. Like, if I do this, what's going to be the end result, or what's going to come from me doing this or not doing this? It's funny, man. You mentioned about the toilet paper. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. Like, dang, what if we did run out of toilet paper, but somebody had to think about it? That's why we didn't run out of toilet paper. You see what I'm saying? Like the whole like water, like I don't think you could have brought enough cases of water out there. Cause it was like just think about it. A case of water was being ran through so damn fast. You had to have water everywhere for the kids, water everywhere for yourself. It was just being ran through so fast. Anybody had a first aid kit?
I did.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what if somebody would have got hurt? What if somebody would have got hurt out there? You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different things, man. But that's where the mindset of a chief steward is. They're foreseeing the evil. They're foreseeing the things that may come. Because where good is, evil is also what? Present. So anything can happen. You know, the one thing that they did, when we went there to camp last year for the first time, and I see that the brothers was doing patrol, I was like, damn, that's smart. That's dope. But somebody thought about that. To have brothers walking around at night. You see what I'm saying? And only for an hour, so you ain't just up all night. Somebody thought about that.
The safety of the people.
Exactly. So a lot of these different things was considered, but I want y'all to see something. We're talking about it from the camping aspect of tabernacles, but that's something that has to be done every day here. You see what I'm saying? Because it's something that's done every day in New York, Virginia, San Antonio, a lot of these different schools. And it is done here, but we're just trying to get brothers and sisters to see, like, the mindset can't just be me, my family, my family, my family. It has to be, okay, everything. Everybody. You see what I'm saying? And that's how you become a chief steward. You see what I'm saying? You're always thinking about others, thinking about what can happen. Are we going to be short on this? What's going to be needed? But also, if you're a chief steward, what else are you thinking about? Just think about it spiritually now. You're knowing the state of your flocks. You're knowing the state of everybody. You see that? Let's go here real quick. Go to that, where's it at in Proverbs? The state of your flocks. Matter of fact, go to Peter's. Go to Peter's, 1 Peter's chapter 5 and verse 1.
Okay.
That's a better one.
Book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 1.
And we understand that, like, you know, everybody isn't there yet in the thinking, but this is the thinking that has to, this is the goal that everybody should be thinking about. You know, we talk about physical goals, mental goals, and spiritual goals. This right here is the spiritual goal that every brother and every sister should be trying to attain to. Read verse 1.
Proverbs 27:23.
The elders which are among you I exhort,
Go ahead.
whom am also an elder
Go ahead.
and a witness of the sufferings of Christ,
Go ahead.
and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed.
Verse 2. I should have just had you go to verse 2. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Feed the flock of God which is among you.
See, so you being a chief steward, your job is to feed the flock. I know we talked about barbecuing and all that, but guess what? When you're feeding the flock, this is talking about spiritually. What do you need? What does this person need? You see what I'm saying? You know, the camping was good because you were able to see all these bodies and everybody, and you got to see the potential dangers, the potential risk, all these different things that can happen, right? But understand, man, it's like that every day with one another, where you do have to consider everybody at all times. It says, feed the flock of God which is among you. It's not talking about food. It's talking about spiritually. Just like when Yahushua was leaving, Peter was leaving, he about to leave, and he told Peter 3 times, feed my sheep, feed my sheep, feed my sheep. You got to be able to feed the flock spiritually. So, brothers and sisters, if you're not if you're not able to feed the flock spiritually now, you gotta at least have the mentality of, let me prepare myself to be able to feed the flock in the future. You see what I'm saying? If you're the ones getting fed now, eventually it has to switch to, let me become the one that starts to feed the next generation. And what does it mean by feed? Well, what is it that they need spiritually? We deal with things every day. We all deal with things. He deals with things, I deal with things, and I know y'all all deal with things personally. Mentally, spiritually, different fights, different battles. The goal is to be able to help one another. You see what I'm saying? Read on.
Taking the oversight thereof.
You know why? Because sometimes we're not all thinking about what could happen. We're not all thinking about the risk. I guess the word I should use is being considerate of the risk of what could happen. Like I was just saying about the toilet paper and the water. I ain't gonna lie, the last thing I thought about was toilet paper. We going camping, the last thing I thought about was toilet paper. When really that should be one of the very first things that you think about, right? Toilet paper and water, right?
Huh?
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't consider it. First aid kit, I didn't consider it. But guess what? At least he did. At least somebody did. But that's for camping. Understand that in your day-to-day activities and being around each other, that we have to be considerate, not only of ourselves but of each other. You see what I'm saying? Seeing what can happen. That's why it says taking the oversight. You're not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about others. Let me ask y'all a question. He said he wakes up every morning and thinks about us, right? I do it too. But let me ask y'all, do y'all do it? Do y'all wake up and think about each other? Do y'all know what each other's weakness is? Anybody know my weakness? The things that I may battle? Do you know my background? Do you know each other's background, each other's weakness, the things that they battle? You know the things that each other been through? Do y'all know?
Lord.
You know why that's important?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
To watch out for them hold them accountable. To watch out for them dangers.
Yeah, and so that you don't be the person that brings that weakness around them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to know, not to use it against a person, but to know, like, oh, this is what this person is weak to, or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to be the one that brings that around them or facilitates that.
Fine.
And it ain't got to be nothing wicked. It ain't got to be nothing, it ain't got to be nothing wicked. But all things are lawful, not all things are expedient.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because then, just in that, like us thinking about what they need. He was just talking about like the burden, right? The burden not being too much on one person. When we do that, then you got to see, like, my burden is no longer just my burden. If you know what I'm dealing with, then it's your burden too. Don't the scripture say the prayer of the righteous availeth much? So when we know what each other is dealing with, and let me say this too, just on that, it doesn't mean that you go to somebody weak and lay all your problems and vent to this person. You see what I'm saying? Because that's something that you don't want to do too. You don't want to go to nobody weak and vent to them what it is that you're dealing with all the time. You are supposed to go to somebody that can handle. But you can't let somebody know, hey, I'm dealing with this. This is what I'm weak to. But when you do need that counsel, that strength, you do need to go to somebody that can actually help you. But at least if you do let somebody know what it is that you're dealing with, maybe that person can see it coming and hide you from it or guide you to it. You see what I'm saying? But when it says taking the oversight thereof, man, you just thinking ahead. You foreseeing the evil and the different things that can happen. Read on.
Not by constraint.
And it says not by constraint. That means you can't be forced to do this. Can't be forced. Go ahead.
But willingly.
But what?
Willingly.
Uh-huh.
Not for filthy lucre.
Uh-huh.
But of a ready
You
mind.
see that? Of a ready mind. That's how we gotta be. Now I want y'all to think, if everybody's rolling like that, then guess what? The goal of, man, I wish we could do this every day. I wish this can happen all the time. Guess what? It will. It will be able to happen all the time. It will be able to happen more frequently. Why? Because you'll have more people. You'll have more hands to the plow. So if you have more hands to the plow, guess what? Work is being able to be done a lot more faster, which gives more time for what? Rest. You see what I'm saying? Rest gives more time for rest, gives more time for play. So let's go here real quick. Go to let's go to 1 Corinthians 4:1. That's what it is. It's 1 Corinthians 4:1.
1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 1.
Read that.
Let a man so account of us
Uh-huh.
as of the ministers of Christ.
Let me tell y'all something. You know, when we went out there, I had sent the brothers a text, right? Remind them, brothers, that we are ministers and that we are servants, right? To make sure that you're always offering yourself up to help somebody, that you're looking out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all remember that text I sent out. But I want y'all to remember one thing. We're ministers. A minister is a servant. That's brothers and sisters. You see what I'm saying? You know how like we always go to each other and we say shalom, shalom, king. Yes, we are kings, but we're not kings yet. You see what I'm saying? We're ministers. We're servants. You can't become a king until you're able to serve, until you're able to minister. Same thing for the sisters.
Oh, I got one. Go to Galatians. Just on that point. 4:1.
Oh, I thought you was going to 5:13.
No. The air, even though he's cheap. You know what I'm talking about? Go to Galatians 4:1 real quick. Just on the point that he's making, it's real. It's a good point. Go ahead, read that.
The book of Galatians chapter 4 and verse 1.
Right.
Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child,
Right.
differeth nothing from a servant.
He what?
Differeth nothing from a servant.
Right. This is the heir to the throne. It says he differed nothing from a servant. Because what is the whole time he's the heir, what is he doing? Think about, I'll give you a perfect example. How long was Prince Charles the heir to the throne?
His whole life.
His whole life. That nigga's 70. Think about it. He been the heir to the throne his whole life, and he's 70. He finally got it at 70-something years old. He been an heir for 70-something years. But what was he learning in his heirship? What was he supposed to be picking up? The whole time Mama Elizabeth was alive, what was he supposed to be getting from Mama? Mama, you know I love you. Not that, right? What? How to crack that whip.
Damn, damn.
Wow. God. supposed to be picking up how to be a king. He was supposed to be looking how to fill those shoes, right? Now we know that their kingdom is garbage. His heirship is garbage. His heir to the throne is trash. And she was whack. But why does it say he differed nothing than a servant? He don't differ from a servant. Because the whole time, even though as soon as daddy dies, he's now in charge until daddy is gone and he takes over that throne, he is nothing but a servant. He is nothing but a man that's sitting there, or a boy, or whatever the case may be, sitting there and learning, putting himself under tutors and governors, and learning how to be a proper king. Because when you look at a king, it ain't like Game of Thrones where it wasn't supposed to be like Game of Thrones, right? Where the king comes in, takes all your women, takes your daughters, all this weird stuff, right? You know, the scriptures talk about it. That's what a king would do. But think about Yahweh Shai, the King of Kings. Is he coming to take our daughters? Is he coming to take our land? Is he coming to do all those different things that kings are known for doing? Because you got to run a kingdom, right? So you need land. You need land for your horses. You need crops. You need all these different things, right? Is Yahweh Shai coming to do that? No. He's coming to be, like when he came the first time, what was he? What did he put himself under? Was he not subject to the people? Did he not make himself subject to the people? Did he not give himself, he says, for his sake, he was rich, but for our sakes, he made himself poor? Yeah. Meaning what? Was he just walking around broke as hell? No. He humbled himself, is what it's saying. He gave up the carnal possessions, all that stuff, and he made himself subject to the people, taking on their burden. Right? Man, every time, just read it. Every time Yahweh Shai rolled up, y'all eat? Y'all eat? Y'all good? Did y'all get something to eat? Y'all drank? Y'all, right?
Oh, you need to be healed?
You need to be healed? Yeah, what's going on with you? Like, he didn't run from that.
You sick?
He didn't run from the sick. Bid the children to come to me. Right? Don't prevent them. Let them come. He didn't prevent himself from putting himself in the servant position. The chief, the master servant.
You know I like it too. If you don't mind, you know I like it. Cause think about like, you know, you ever seen somebody that's sick and you don't even want to be around him because he's sick? Yeah. I'm talking about physically sick. It's like, damn, you sick? Yeah, get away from him. Or somebody that may, you know, have.
Why do you think Princess Diana was so beloved? Remember Princess Diana? There was something that she did that literally that like shot her to the top. She walked into the AIDS ward of the hospital, I think it was in New York, and she started touching the kids ungloved. They're like, what is this? Like, all the doctors is masked up with spacesuits and coronavirus masks, and she walks in there and starts hugging kids with AIDS. People looked at her like, wait a minute. This woman is so compassionate. This woman, she has a heart. Like, that's what shot her to the top in the eyes of the people, was that she made herself subject to the people. Even the sickest of the sick. AIDS at that time, remember, this is the damn early 90s, 80s. 80s and early 90s, when AIDS was fairly new. And when you had AIDS, you could see a cat like, damn, he got AIDS. Like, them lesions weren't going nowhere. Them bumps, damn, he got the package, right? But she in there touching them, hugging them, and they're like, what the hell is this white woman doing letting these black AIDS babies rub all over her? But that's how she made herself get more in touch with the people, because she subjected herself, not worrying about, oh, I'm going to catch AIDS. She didn't care about all that. She had compassion for the people. You see that? That's what the whole servanthood, that's what it's supposed to be. It's about the compassion for the people.
All right. You can't serve somebody by yourself. What I mean by that is, if you by yourself, who's there to serve? You're just serving yourself. Mm-hmm. You see that? So let's go back to that 1 Corinthians, man. 1 Corinthians 4:1.
1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Let a man show accounts of us as of the ministers of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful.
You see that? So it's required. It's a requirement from the Most High that as you become a steward, you got to be found faithful. You know how you're able to be found faithful, brothers and sisters? Perfect example, 1 Timothy's 3 and 1 down.
Yeah, because a lot of cats think, oh, I'm faithful because I got all the breakdowns.
Yeah.
That don't mean a damn thing. I'm faithful because my beard. I'm faithful because of this. I'm faithful because of that. No, are you subjecting yourself? It's like when you read in Isaiah, it said that he took on our sorrows, right? Mm-hmm. Yahushua took on our burden. Like, are they doing that, or are you just ready to shoot out a breakdown?
Yeah.
Are you sitting back and letting people tell you their issues and having an answer ready to answer?
Without being biased.
Yeah, like, again, I could have sat behind that pit and just said, nah, yeah, I'm cooking meat. Everybody bounce. Right? And made it about meat. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to cook the meat. Now, who wants some counsel? Right? Who wants to talk? Which one of y'all bros need to talk? What's going on with you?
Who wants some real meat?
Yeah, what's up with your rib? What's up with your family? Oh, you got a new rib? Oh, that's what's up. Okay, your kids? Oh, okay. How's that going? Man, you know how it goes. Yeah, I know how it goes. So what's up? Talk to me. Well, you got it. Like, I could have made it about the carnal thing and said, oh, see, I'm a great steward. The carnal thing is the breakdown. Or I could have said, you know what? What you got going on? What you dealing with? Let me help you in that way.
Yeah.
And knock out two birds with one stone. You see that?
All right.
So that's where the mind gotta be. That's where we gotta, upgrade our minds and our thinking when it comes to these concepts.
All right. Let's go to Mark chapter 10, verse 42. Mark chapter 10 and verse 42.
Remember, it ain't just one thing or the other. It ain't just one thing or the other, man.
You know, damn, I didn't give me a definition. Give me 1 second. Let me get a definition for this, just so we understand clearly. So, a steward is a man employed in great families to manage the domestic concerns.
Yep. Of another family. Of that family.
Of that family, right? Mm-hmm. This is the Israelite family that you're employed to manage. You see that? It says an officer of a high estate. It says a superintendent, a chamberlain. You know, just to make it very simple, a steward is nothing but a servant. You see that? So now let's go here. Go to that, Mark.
It's like, I like the word superintendent. They use that a lot in New York. When you go to the buildings, it's like they're the superintendent of this building. You don't hear that word a lot, superintendent.
They use it in schools.
Right, they use it in school.
Yeah.
With the soup, right? Or they just call him for short, the soup, right?
Yep.
He knows every piece of that building and what's going on with it. The elevator is broke, he's on it. Somebody piss in the hallway, he got to get somebody on it. If there's trash in the front, he got to get somebody on it. Somebody's window broke, he got to get somebody on it. All the maintenance is him. All the cleaning, all the deliveries, all the trash, all the different, think about it, all the different aspects of that building. The what is it?
Superintendent.
Superintendent.
Uh-huh.
Right? Let me see the word. I always feel like I pronounce it wrong. Man, employee, family.
Superintendent.
Where's it at? Intended. Let me see something here. So that word is two words. But that first word, super, right? Like when you hear like Superman, he runs everything. The soup runs everything. That's what we gotta be. We gotta be stewards in everything. And all, what is it showing you that you gotta know about all aspects not just one. Y'all get that?
Ins and outs, yeah.
The ins and outs of the building. Why is the floor leaking? Oh, let me check it out. Oh, the heater ain't working. Oh, let me go check it out. Oh, the water's backed up. Oh, let me go check it out. Oh, this is not working. This is happening. Oh, there's animals in the attic. Well, let me climb to the attic.
You know, it's funny when you look at it. So with you being a superintendent in the truth, right? You got to know the ins and out. Like, we're all a part of the school. You got to know the ins and out of the school. What's that?
Intendant, one who has charge, oversight, direction, or management of some public business. So superintendent, this person is super in charge. This person has the super oversight. Think about that. That just means that everything that they're engaged in with this stewardship has to be on a heightened level. You gotta have a heightened sense of smell. What's burning? Come on, we do it in our houses, right? Mm-hmm. I was laying down a couple minutes before class, just resting my brain, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" They burning chicken in the kitchen, right? I can smell it all the way in the room because I have to. I gotta hear things. I gotta hear stuff through the walls. I gotta hear when the baby falls. Okay, why y'all yelling at the baby? Why y'all this? I gotta hear it. Like when I go in my room, even though I'm laying down, my hearing has to bionic man. My smell. I gotta see cars coming down the street through the blinds. I gotta have extra. I'm serious. Why? Because if not, children are gonna be children, and they'll let somebody get hurt, and you won't even hear it. You won't even know it. I gotta hear how long the water been running when one of the kids go into the bathroom, so I can know. Okay, who do I gotta beat to get out the water? I'm serious. Who's playing with the soap in the water? Who's playing with this? Who's playing with that? Who's rummaging through the cabinets eating all the chips?
Because you know why? Because if not, it's chaos.
Because if not, it's chaos. The kids aren't gonna be intendant.
You know why there's chaos in our communities? It's because there is no stewards in our communities.
No.
A steward is just a leader.
A watcher, a super, but he's super on that job. He's Superman at it. Remember Superman? Mm-hmm. He was rescuing Lois Lane and then stopping a train all in one bound. He'd be like, zoop, bam, zoop, catch her from a building, zoop, tie up a robber, zoop, rescue somebody's cat. All in 4 seconds. Like, damn, that's why he's Superman. But guess what? You're supposed to be the superintendent. Soup. And you got to see all, hear all, smell all, taste all, everything can't get by you. Nothing is supposed to get by you.
See it before it happens.
Yeah, you got to foresee evil. You got to plan ahead. Nothing is supposed to get by your eyesight, your insight. Nobody can play you. My kids be trying to play me. And I'm like, yo, I'm smarter than y'all. Right? I'm smarter than y'all. Y'all ain't smarter than me. Because it's like the kids, bro, they reckless. Right? But if you just let them go at it, they'll just rip the whole house down. They'll eat all the candy, eat all the sugary snacks, eat all the this, that, leave all the veg. Right? And then be sick and then be like, I'm sick. Well, what'd you eat? Nothing? Oh, you ate but you got to know, oh, wait a minute. Well, all the marshmallows are missing out the pack. Who ate them?
More than likely the sick one.
Yeah, more than likely the sick one ate all the marshmallows. All the vegan marshmallows, right? Oh, they capping in my house, man. We got the marshmallows for the campsite. Vegan marshmallows, by the way. No little lard in there. But I tied them away in a bag last night. I come down to bed. Somebody split the bag and ripped a little small hole in the bag.
Wow.
And half the marshmallows is gone. Nobody did it. Who came home sick today? Noah.
Like a little rat.
I had to go pick him up from school.
You said rip the bag like a rat?
Like a little rat. Like a little rodent, bro. And I had to go grab this guy from school and they calling me he's sick. I'm like, but you didn't eat the marshmallows? No, I didn't even know they were down there. Okay. But that's why you sick. You can lie to me, but you can't lie to the Most High. But we got to know, okay, for next time. I see how they moving. I see how this is going. Next time I won't put them in the plain sight where the kids can get them. I never do. I hide stuff, but they be trying to find the hiding spaces when you ain't looking. Bro, my kids, man, candy animals.
Just on the spirit of the conversation, superintendent. Last night I was tired. I was asleep, and literally I heard somebody try to like kick my door and like shake my door, and like I had the little chains.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget to put the chains and even lock the door. Right?
Can't forget.
And anyway, tired. I was like, okay, I forced myself out of bed to really go and investigate. Open the door, made myself be seen and everything like that. But all in the spirit of like, damn, it's strong, man. I can't let nothing come in my house.
No.
You know what I mean?
You gotta foresee those evils. You gotta know your surroundings. You gotta lock up at night. Like, that's the last thing I do. I make the round. Like, I do rounds in my house. I do rounds because I'm the one that'll forget to lock the door, and everybody else does too. Nobody, like my kids, ain't worried about let me go lock the door. The only one really is Justice. The other kids, they'll walk through the front door and the door be wide open all night. Like, damn, y'all just left the front door open all night. So what do I got to do? But when everybody locks it down and goes to bed, I hop up and I make my rounds through the house. All the lights off, right? Kitchen clean, all the doors locked. Close the shades. I do all that and turn off all the little lights and all the electronics. Go through everybody's room. You got a blanket on? Here's your blanket. Here's I go through all that nightly as much as I can. Some nights they on their own. I'm tired, right? But for the most part, but if I don't do it, who will? Who's going to be the superintendent in your home? Well, you're the strong man. We're the strong men of our home. So we got to do it. We got to take that superintendent, that super oversight, that super eyesight, that super hearing, right? And we gotta look at these situations and say, wait a minute, what's going on? Let me make sure. Brothers got to get a lot better at that.
Yeah.
Super conversation. You got to get super conversational with her. And dip into her mind and her mind state. Your kids, you got to get super friendly and conversational so you can understand where they coming from, what they dealing with. You know, it's important.
It's very important so you can know how to feed them. Like it says in 1 Peter, you know, in 1 Peter 5:2. Yep. That way you're able to feed them what they need spiritually.
Yep.
Let's go to 1 Peter 4:7. 1 Peter 4:7, and this can be the last one. 1 Peter 4:7. We're going to read down to verse 10. 1 Peter 4:7.
Oh, they had it spelled wrong on
chapter 4, verse 7.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I'm on that.
Oh, no, you got it. Go ahead.
But the end of all things is at hand.
And is it not? We see that the end is. we see that the end is here, right? Listen, I think Joe Biden is definitely your last president, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, praise the Lord.
You know, so the end is near. Go ahead.
But ye therefore sober. And watch unto prayer.
See that it says we got to be sober and watch unto prayer. So make sure that your mind isn't being influenced by nothing crazy, no crazy doctrine. If you know that this works for you, then it works for you. You see what I'm saying? Don't try to introduce nothing new. This is simple. Don't let nobody take your mind off the course. So stay sober, stay vigilant, be always watchful. It says make sure that you're praying. Make sure that we're praying for one another as good stewards. You see what I'm saying? If you know a brother or a sister is dealing with something, pray for that brother and sister. Pray for me, pray for him. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely need it.
Read on.
And above all things, have fervent charity.
Have fervent what?
Charity.
You see that? Have fervent what?
Charity.
Yeah, man. All for yourself. All for yourself, always to help. All for yourself, man. Come out of your zone. Come out of your comfort zone. And offer yourselves, go ahead.
Among yourselves.
Among who?
Among yourselves.
Because if we're all helping each other, then guess what? You're being helped too when you need help. Go ahead.
For charity shall cover the multitude of
You
sins.
see that? Charity. Charity will cover a multitude of sins, man. So if you know that you've done a lot, and you know that you need a lot, you need a lot of grace and mercy from the Most High, from the old man, from the past life, then charity is what's going to fix that. You know, one thing that we got to be doing as brothers and sisters, we always got to be looking out for a way that we can help somebody. You see what I'm saying? When we do go to an event like that, where we link up with San Antonio, even Virginia or New York, or any other school or anywhere, you should always embody this charity, where you're willing to help, where you're willing to give a helping hand all the time. You see what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Use hospitality one to another without
You
grudging.
see that? Be hospitable one to another. Put yourselves in another brother's shoes. Put yourself in another sister's shoes. Dive into their mind. Go ahead.
As every man hath received the gift,
Go ahead.
even so minister the same one to another
Go ahead.
as good stewards of the manifold grace of the Most High.
You see that? We're ministers, man. To close it out, man, we're ministers, ministering to one another. So guess what? If you did enjoy Tabernacles, if you didn't enjoy going camping and seeing San Antonio, that happened because of good stewards from brothers and sisters that were ministering to brothers and sisters. And if you do want it to happen more often, then we all have to step up our stewardship. We all have to step up our servitude to one another. And guess what? It will happen more often. It will happen more often. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? Everything went good. Everything went good. Nothing bad happened. And guess what? That's how it can be every time. It can all be good. You know, the last time we went camping, the first time we went camping, that was my first time going camping. I didn't even bring a blanket. I didn't even bring a tent. This year I did better. I bought a blanket and I went and bought a tent. But I still didn't bring a blow-up bed. But you know how I'm thinking next year? Screw myself. I'm thinking next year, like, okay, I gotta have a first aid kit. I gotta have a flashlight, a strong light so I can blind all y'all when y'all trying to sleep. You see what I'm saying? Like toilet paper, paper towel. I'm gonna have to bring cases of water because all the kids gonna need water. I may have to, just save up some money to go buy a whole bunch of toys for the kids. If we gonna be in the same spot, buy a big beach volleyball or something. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Just different things that maybe I can add. Because I already know personally, I'm gonna make sure that I add myself to whatever is needed. You see what I'm saying? Like my physical body is gonna be available to whatever is needed. But whatever it is that I can bring, you know what I'm saying? You know what may even have been nice? Having like 2 mountain bikes or a whole bunch of mountain bikes. I don't know, because it was so big. Brothers and sisters went riding or something. I don't know. But y'all see what I'm saying? And to close out, man, just remember this, brothers and sisters. When you go to a gathering like that, your mind should not be to indulge. Your mind should be, how can I help? What do you need? You see what I'm saying? It should never be to indulge. How can I help? Where you need me at? As soon as you get there, where you need me at? What do you need done? Help others offload their stuff. Help others set up their tent. You know what I'm saying? Help others break down their tent. You see what I'm saying? But it's not just in that. It's in everything. It's in everything that we do. On feast days, just because it's 2 sisters night, it don't mean that everybody else, it don't mean that other sisters can't get up and help serve too. Because if there's more sisters getting up to help serve, that means that the sisters that did the feast, did all the cooking and the preparation all day, that means that they can be done faster, getting all the food out so they can sit down and eat too and enjoy what they've been doing. You see what I'm saying? Not saying sisters didn't do that, but I'm just showing y'all the mentality, how we should be thinking. You see what I'm saying? You see the trash is full, let me go and take the trash out. Nobody got to tell me to go and take the trash out. We can't keep putting a whole bunch of trash into a trash can that's filled. Somebody go get a bag and take it out. Find out where the trash goes and go ahead and swap it. The trash in the restroom is full, dump it out. What we gonna do? Keep dumping paper towels in the full trash? Y'all see what I'm saying?
Some would.
If you see something needs to be done, y'all should be happy as hell to say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it." That's like the thing with a steward. It's like, or a servant. Something needs to be done. I'm here. The one time you need to be a good coon. You know how like them good slaves would have been like, "Master, what you need? Master, what you need?" Like, we do it for Esau with their jobs, right? We did it for Esau with their jobs. Why? Because they pay you less than what you're worth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know how like
Yes,
you know how we'll pick up overtime to get paid literally a half, or what is it, a time and a half?
Yes, sir.
So if you get $20 an hour, now you're just gonna get 30 to pick up some overtime, but they gonna make a gang of money off of you. What about your overtime in the truth? What about your overtime for brothers? What about your overtime for sisters?
Come on, man. We had 18 people and y'all all logged off.
Where's your mind? You see what I'm saying? Where's the mind at?
That's bad.
So, yeah, man, that's just what I wanted to show y'all. Like take the ownership. Take the ownership. I always tell brothers, take the ownership. You see something needs to be done, just do it. Don't wait for nobody to tell you. Just, if you know how to do it, just go ahead and do it. You see what I'm saying? You know how to do it, go ahead and do it. And then you can report later that, hey, I did this or whatever. Same thing with sisters, man. Something needs to be done, just go ahead and do it. Sis?
Just to talking about adding on to what you were saying. Me myself, I would go through tolls sometimes, and I'll leave my little. This is not a statement. You know, you need to go ahead and pay this. I'll leave it like on the counter, and my husband took the initiative to get, I guess, check it and see, you know, if it needs to be paid, and he found out that I would be told. And I was supposed to go through the toll for like 3 days, or I would get in trouble. So just him seeing something that needed to be done that I, you know, wasn't on, he did that, and that could have saved me getting my car impounded and things like that. So just like what you're saying, if we think about that with anyone and everyone, then you never know what that you're doing could help someone preventing something, you know, catastrophic really happening, you know. Be something small and it just turns into something really big. So I just wanted to say that because I was really thankful. I was like, what? I was gonna be in trouble. So
God, you don't pay the tolls. The tolls keep adding up.
Yep. Yeah,
so it's not like it just stayed the same price. So
right, it was like $20 or something like that. But you know, I was like, I'll get it. And just him doing that is saving
$20.
$20 for a toll is high.
Especially when it's only 50 cents or $1 something.
We're not in like New York and New Jersey. That's where tolls is high, right? Yeah. So yeah, man. Hopefully y'all got that. So again, everybody would love to be able to do that all the time, right?
God.
We got to be stewards. We got to be good stewards. We got to be good ministers, good servants to one another. And guess what? It'll happen all the time. You know. So
it'll go off without a hitch.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man, we'd like to say thank to everybody for joining us. We are back.
I wanted to say that earlier. We're back.
God. But we're back. We're back here in Houston for just 1 day a week. So, well, you know, of course, we still going to have our class, but 1 day a week as far as being online.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the Virginia channel. That way you can get Sabbath class if you haven't already.
Yeah.
They're gonna be going live this Shabbat. Genesis 1 and 1. Read. Wow. We back in Genesis 1 and 1. We ran through Deuteronomy. Back to Genesis. So Y'all gonna get an 8-hour class on Saturday? No,
Can I say one thing just on that? Think about it. We back in Genesis, right? Genesis through Deuteronomy is some of the biggest books in the Bible. As far as like chapters, verses, length of verses, it's some of the biggest books in the Bible. Genesis through Deuteronomy, the Torah. We read 3 to 4 chapters every Sabbath, right? And you're able to run through it. That's just one day a week. We only read 3 to 4 chapters, and look how we're able to run through these books.
it takes 6 months.
It takes 6 months, right? Now, and it's not just that. We hit other books too, but I just want y'all to see, like, it doesn't take much. It don't take much to go through these books in the Bible and study, man. It's 3 to 4 chapters a week, really, of the Torah that we do. And it's rare when we do 4. And you'll knock it out in 6 months. A lot of us be trying to read the whole Bible in a week or a month. It's not going to happen. But a little by little by little, it adds up. A little bit every day adds up. And by the end of the year, you'll be able to look and be like, damn, I didn't read the whole Bible, or damn, I'm close to reading the whole Bible. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that, man. But yeah,
If you read, I'm gonna show y'all something. If you read 4 chapters a day, you'll be able to get through the whole Bible in a year. That's just 4 chapters. If you read 5, 6, 7, you'd speed it up. There's 1,189 chapters in the Bible.
And remember, some chapters are small, really small.
Some chapters are small, right? So just imagine Psalms 133. That's like 3 verses, right? So just imagine if you read 10 chapters a day. You can get through the whole Bible. It's not really including the Apocrypha, though, I'm pretty sure. But even still, you can still get through it in a substantial amount of time. You know? So, again, we gotta go through it. We do it. We go through these Sabbaths to make sure y'all are getting some of this reading down. But you gotta do it for yourself. You gotta be a steward in that right of studying, a superintendent of studying and reading, a super reader. Huh?
All right. So with that, we'd like to say thank for everybody for joining us online. And we'd like to say shalom.
Shalom.
Chilling